his first witness. At the last court sitting, he was expected to call Samet Sadasti, who happened to be the representative of Big C, but that did not happen. He filed a subpoena. The subpoena has been granted, and the kind of people that he wants, the Speaker of Parliament is in there, Alex Tegbefia is in there, CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, is in there, and then some others, including the second accused person who has been discharged because the state filed a null prosecutor, Mr. Sylvester Adimana. He said he wants all of them to come to court and testify. Today, he'll be before Justice Serwaa Sariboche to tell the court or to produce his first witness, in fact, in relation to this matter. Earlier, we told you that the court has stopped all the parties from talking in relation to this matter. So this case is coming on today. Then, Tagleme affordable housing case. Yes, that case is also coming on today with lawyers of Alhaji Collins Dauda, the man who has always been in white. Yes, as you can see on your screen, will be in court to subject the second prosecution witness to further cross-examination. At the last court sitting, when he concluded his evidence in chief by way of reading the witness statement, the lawyer started. Justice Ernest Owusu-Tapa indicated that as per the case management completion plan, lawyers of Alhaji Collins Dauda have 2 hours and 1 outstanding 1 hour that will be subject to the discretion of the court whether to allow it or not, depending on how the witness answers the questions and all that. So today, Thaddeus Sori and his team will be subjecting the second prosecution witness to further cross-examination on behalf of Alhaji Collins Dauda. So that is one of the things that we also expect coming out today. Okay. Then alleged recruitment scam involving a military officer, one Captain Abel Nati. You noticed that last week we told you about the fact that he was a subject matter of a bench warrant, and then the army, the Ghana Armed Forces, managed to bring him to the court after the report came out, and then that bench warrant was rescinded. He was granted bail, self-recognizance bail, and today Captain Abel is expected to appear before the circuit court in relation to the alleged recruitment scam in which he and one other have been charged for allegedly taking some 136,000 from people that they have actually were indicated that they want to enlist them into the military or into the security agency, which they have failed. So that case is also coming. And the last that we expect to come up is the Samuel Ofusu-Ampofo alleged victim. This issue started long ago. It's still pending before Justice Samuel Esiedu, a justice of the Supreme Court, who is sitting an additional responsibility as a High Court judge. So today, Justice Esiedu, and what is expected to happen is that Samuel Ofusu-Ampofo is expected to open his defense. Okay. Right, for the last 2-3 sittings, he was being expected. He wasn't well. The lawyers indicated that he's back in court. He came, and then nothing was. We understand that he had an issue again with the leg, and which was brought to the attention of the court. Evidence was shown to the court, and the court granted that instead of 2 weeks request, added 1 more. So today we expect Samuel Ofusu-Ampofo to be in court. Hopefully, if he's well, he will be in court and he will open his defense in relation to the charges that have been pressed against him, together with Kweku Anthony Boahin. Anthony Kweku Boahin. The 2 of them are before the court. So these are the cases that we do expect coming on today.
Thank you very much, Captain. He's our court correspondent. Let's now tell you what's in the newspapers. Right, 100,000 youth gain jobs under my administration. That's according to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But then, if it's 100,000, that's the president to say, where from the 2.1 million jobs? Where was that created? Anyway, I'd have to see the details of the story first. Yvette Dede wins Anas Aremeyaw Anas's Most Promising Student Journalist Award. LPG Marketers Association rejects cylinder recirculation module, and Professor Yanka jabs Sami Gyamfi over false statement about University of Ghana and KNUST. Moving on to the Ghanaian Times, government steps up youth employment agenda as it plans to support security services to absorb YEA beneficiaries. The Ghana Revenue Authority exceeds half-year revenue target by 138.6 million Ghana cedis, and Supreme Court defers ruling on anti-gay bill injunction until judgment on substantive case. Regulate use of honorary doctorate titles, that's according to Professor Nyako. Let's move on. The Daily Guide newspaper, GRA on course to achieving 146 billion cedis tax target. Ex-tour boss extradited to US for bribery, and Lands Ministry exposes a Ablakwa over sale of state lands. Professor Yanka takes on Sami Gyamfi, and Supreme Court defers decision on anti-LGBTQ bill injunctions. The Daily Dispatch, when did Mahama realize he is capable? Napo questions his quest to be president. NDC national chairman and 6 others cannot explain Mahama's 24-hour economy is just a slogan than a policy. That's according to Sapon. On the 2024 elections, continue to be professional by Omiate police personnel. Okay. The New Finder, GRA bags 68 billion cedis in 6 months, and President appoints COP Yohunu as Deputy IGP. President commends YEA promises to enhance its appeal, and 120-bed state-of-the-art Fomena and Kumawo hospitals commissioned. Ghana Publishing opens first regional office in Kumasi. The Daily Graphic will be the final newspaper, and YEA empowers 600,000 Ghanaians. President Akufo-Addo commends agency. President nominates 2 to the Supreme Court, and tertiary business schools challenge launched. GRA exceeds mid-year target by 138.69 million Ghana cedis. And even though I said that was the final, this has got to be the final. YEA makes massive gains in job creation. President lauds innovative efforts. And first regional office of Ghana Publishing opens in Kumasi. And Ghana hosts AU Executive Council meeting in Accra today. And that's it for the newspaper. Stay with us after the break. The guests will join me and we'll get into the issues. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I'm Serwaa Amihere, and it's time for the breakfast review. I'm joined in the studio by Malik Basintele. He's Deputy National Communications Officer for the NDC. Malik, good morning.
Good morning.
And Alhaji Amidu Chinia. He's Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, and also Member of Parliament for Sisala East. Which one else do you want me to add? That you're the parliamentary candidate?
Yes.
For Sisala East also.
MPP parliamentary candidate.
Anyway, you're both welcome to the show. We're expecting Bernard Mona. Says he's on his way, but he's not here yet. Okay. I want us to start off with
So can you let me do this before? Last week I said that I was going to...
let's carry on. We'll do it mid-point.
You're going to do what?
Last week Malik made an allegation.
Let's do it towards the midpoint.
$42 million being used for Odo
Lagoon
dredges, and I said it was not true.
You can do it midpoint.
Oh,
You wait.
Malik, don't do that.
If we start with let's
This information.
Okay, start. Then let's just start with that topic. The state
Then what?
It's not a topic.
The state
That's
capture.
what we are going to start with.
I'm only giving the facts.
So just start. So start.
The point is that you allege that $43 million was used to dredge Odo drain by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. And I told you that this is a well-banked project, and there are various components to the project being done by various ministries: local government ministry, Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Sanitation. So when you look at we have component 2 of the project, the Garrett project, which is on solid waste management, being handled by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. And an amount of $42.2 million was allocated. So that is the total amount my brother Malik mentioned.
Okay.
And it is to be used in the area of solid waste management. Now, Serwaa, I can tell you that out of the $42.2 million to date, the amount that has been spent, because there are various projects that have completed, some ongoing, but the major component of the projects have not been started. So out of the $42.2 million, the ministry has expended $5,166,500. Remaining, so the outstanding amount as of now is $37,033,500. So that whole component of $42 million, only a little over $5 million has been spent.
Okay.
So
but that's
it
not
is
the
not
only,
true. It is not true that the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has spent $43 million in the Odo drainage. But what happened was that when the minister appeared for vetting in Parliament, I don't know what happened. Probably sometimes you lose track of certain events. So she was asked, and she confirmed that $43 million was used in the Odo drainage, which is not the case.
So have you drained the Odo?
In fact, the dredging of the Odo drain is not under the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, but Ministry of Works and Housing.
Okay.
So it doesn't fall within our component is for solid waste management.
Okay.
And to date, the amount that we have spent is just a little over $5 million. I just wanted to...
But that's not the only thing that he dared you to. But you brought one and you've left the others. He said that you had not declared your assets.
So that one is personal. That was my personal distance.
It's a public interest.
You are doing law. I mean, it's not for public consumption. Anyway, I have. You declare your asset to the Auditor General, but it is not
so
for.
Have you declared
it is not. I have my documents here.
Can I?
So no, I'm not giving it to you.
Not me.
No, but I'm saying that. You only.
I just want to know the date.
What happens is that Malik needs to look at the law. You are doing law.
Please give it to
the auditor. You declare your assets. You fill a declaration form. You give to the Auditor General. It's not for public consumption.
When did you declare?
I say I have my.
Don't show it to us. But check the date.
When you by mistake get government, you come after me and I'll produce my document. That is the most important thing.
So why did you bring the documents if you don't want us
show it to us?
I'm just.
The date. Besides, we don't know what is in this document. We don't know what's in the envelope. You say it's a document.
It's Auditor General's document.
Yeah, but how will I know?
It's auditor. Look at the receipts. Audit.
I can't see.
Ghana Audit Service. Look at it.
Please give
this Auditor General.
Give it to her.
This what is it? Look at it.
Give your document.
Declaration of asset. This is my copy. I'm not giving it to you.
Give it to her. Date.
If you want, you write to Auditor General.
I was almost seeing the date. Let me see.
This is my declaration.
Let me see the date.
I won't give it to you.
The problem is the dates. He probably declared late.
Oh, so I said I have declared my asset.
When? We are not disputing that.
So
when?
I am saying that you wait. When Malik, if he by mistake he die in government, he should go and pursue me.
Okay.
He should go and pursue me.
Okay, let's move on.
I have nothing.
When he's done, I respond to everything.
I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, then respond before we get into the substantive.
I mean,
think
it's linked to this matter, so you should just continue.
Okay.
I will respond to everything.
May I have nothing
the state capture.
Yes, so
state capture.
Yes, I'm sure that you have seen.
Oh, I mean, they are claiming it. So let him tell us what. It's your party who's claiming state capture.
Thank you very much. Will you allow me to do my work?
I've always allowed you to do your work.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have seen a statement from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo, disputing the claims made by... disputing the claims made by Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, on the issue of state capture. And there are excerpts of that statement, which, for the benefit of my viewers, I would like to quickly go through. But it is important to also let our viewers know that the Member of Parliament for North Tong has equally responded. So the statement of the Lands and Natural Resources Minister says that the attention of the ministry has been drawn to allegations by Member of Parliament for North Tong in respect of certain public lands, which he alleges are evidence of state capture by the current government and its officials. The ministry welcomes any such interests and intense scrutiny of transactions relating to the public lands of our country, as it is the best way of protecting public lands for the benefits of the Ghanaian people. He goes on to list and explain the lands that were captured in Okudzeto Ablakwa's, for the want of a better word, expose. So 1, the Parks and Gardens land at Cantonment. It's quite long, so I will go to the last but one paragraph, which he says, for the avoidance of doubt, the lease and or sale of the land at Cantonment allocated to the Department of Parks and Gardens, the subject matter of the Member of Parliament's allegation commenced in the year 2012 and concluded in the year 2016 through a 50-year lease granted to Humanitarian Company Limited on 29th November 2016 and subsequently assigned to Danike Real Estate Developers Company Limited. On the Judicial Service land, it goes on to say that the lease and sale of the land at Roman Ridge allocated to the prison service was made in the year 2005 and not under the current administration. On the issue of Parks and Gardens land at Wa, the ministry says that the Wa Municipal Assembly in 2020, on 27 January 2020, the Lands Commission made an offer to Seydou Mohammed Karim, which offer was accepted, leading to the execution of a lease dated 1st July 2020 in favor of Seydou Mohammed Karim for a term of 50 years. Okay, the land has since been developed into a filling station serving the needs of the people of Wa and its environs. And then on the issue of the land at the Du Bois Center, it says that the land occupied by the Du Bois Center, the subject matter of the MP's allegations, has neither been sold nor leased to any private entity. Malik, I'm sure that you have seen all of these. Your response to it?
First of all, Serwaa, I want to ask Chinia which component of this document does not fall under his ministry? Which of them?
That is the full component. All this is component 2.
It falls under your ministry.
Yes.
But you said only 5 million falls under your ministry.
No.
And the rest was under the Ministry of Works and Housing.
I didn't say that. You didn't hear.
What did
I
you
said
say?
$42.2 million is for my ministry, out of which a little over $5 million has been spent so far, leaving $37 billion. So as of today, the only amount of money that has been spent is that, and you can see completed projects, ongoing projects, and started projects.
Yes,
all of them are listed.
I've seen them.
Yes.
Your minister appeared before Parliament, and Parliament asked your minister what the 42.2 million dollars was used for, and your minister confessed that they had dredged the lagoon. So, in other words, are you telling us your minister lied?
Malik.
Is that what you're saying?
Malik.
Is that what you're saying?
The minister is a human being.
So your minister lied.
She made it. It's an oversight. So this is the real. This is the real.
It's an oversight.
So your minister
that's what
lied.
I can say, because
it means that you, Honorable Chinia, is saying that your former boss,
hey, Malik, don't put words in my mouth. I have not said that
before the committee.
I have not said that.
What you are saying,
I have not said that.
Is the truth and the barefaced truth.
This is the ministry's.
No problem. As for the issue,
bring the document.
Issue with
the document.
The declaration of your assets, I have said it, that we will be in office by the grace of God on 7th January 2025. From that day, from when you became a deputy minister, till you became a deputy regional minister, till you became a deputy sanitation minister, you will not escape the rigors of the law, because the law has been emphatic.
I'll be there
that
to answer.
Before you assume
if by
office
chance
as a
you win,
minister, you should declare your assets. He is struggling to tell us the date
of
declaration because he knows he has fallen foul to the law. And mark my words, I said it on this platform, he will be dealt with. Look, so our state capture. One of the reasons why I am bothered is because I was born to see a lot of government lands. I was born to see a lot of government facilities. We grew up knowing that government owned this and government owned that. Unfortunately, what is happening currently is disastrous. And kudos to the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa for the diligent work he has done, so long as, exposing the corruption under this government, so long as selling of state properties are concerned. And what baffles my mind is how a hotel that was running at a loss suddenly emerges and attempts buying a hotel that rather declares profit. It's preposterous. And that was our concern in this very matter. Look, I have repeatedly said that the MPP simply came into office to loot and share. And the state capture did not only commence by the selling of such state hotels in Greater Accra. Look, even the appointments of family and friends in office were attempted state capture. The president has done it. For the first time in the Republic, President Akufo-Addo appointed his own daughter. For the first time, Alhaji Bawumia's sister is an appointee in this government, the gender minister. For the first time, Alhaji Bawumia's brother, Mumuni Bawumia, is an appointee. Alhaji Bawumia's wife's father is an appointee. This is the extent to which this government has engaged in state capture. And you see, most often, Serwaa, I am happy that Chinia took a bold step in bringing documents. But that is not the end of the documentation. Look, I have documents here, and I'm going to teach you state capture. Honorable Chinia was deputy minister. I'll give you all the documents for your perusal, and I'll tell you why he won't escape jail. Honorable Chinia was deputy minister.
But you don't determine.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to put the bare facts here. Usually we discuss people when they are not on set, right? Today the corporate is on set, so I will discuss it here, and I'll give you every document. Unlike he denied, Honorable Chinia was deputy minister. Yesterday, I heard him ranting on Good Morning Ghana 2 days ago that President Mahama bought this, President Mahama bought that, bought the state land. When he was asked to prove, he failed to do so. But little did he know that he himself has been a culprit so long as the dissipation of state property is concerned. As we speak now, his radio station is on a land in Tumu. That land was a government land. It belonged to the local assembly. His radio station is there. How did he acquire that land? Number 2, close to the stadium in Tumu is government land. As we speak now, he's putting up a filling station there. How did he acquire that land? State land. Yet he sat on TV and was mentioning President Mohammed's name as if that was even true. Meanwhile, you have been acquiring state property. The land where you stayed, the property you stayed as deputy minister in Wa, the land just next to it, he's acquired it. How did he get it? State property at a residential area. It's now in his name, Chinia. As if that was not enough, I'm going to teach you proper state capture. His brother went to form a company, and the company is called Bawuriese. If you can correct me, you know the name. Batuawese, very good, he knows it. Batuawese, his brother, direct brother, is also called Chinia, Baka Chinia also. You know the name, what's your brother's name?
You go on.
His driver was also part to form that company. His brother is called Abdel Bazak Chinia. His driver is called Dimbie Yahya. And his direct cousin is called Olatunji Amuda. They formed a company called Batuawese. Came to him as deputy minister, together with his minister at the ministry. And he awarded a contract, a road contract worth 12 million to his own brother. They captured all the projects in Tumu, Sesala, his constituency, and decided to execute it as one family, as if we didn't have contractors in Tumu. What saddened my heart, Serwaa, is that after the awarding of contracts to his own brother, which sparks traces of conflict of interest and to a larger extent, massive corruption, they took mobilization and failed to do the work. As we speak today, that road has been abandoned in his own constituency. So I kept saying that, look, if you even want to be wicked to your own constituents, at least if you want to engage in family and friends, if you want to be corrupt in your own society, you should take the contract and execute it. You don't take it and leave it. Today your people are struggling, your own constituency. Are you happy, Mr. MP? As if that was not enough. They went to the Ministry of Agric. I'm going to teach you state capture. And they went and took goose, farm inputs worth I think 3-4 million. Farm inputs worth 4 million. They brought the farm inputs, smuggled half a number to foreign countries. Fertilizers were smuggled under the Planting for Food and Jobs. The minister then of Agric cautioned him that, look, the rate at which they were smuggling fertilizer to neighboring countries was high. And the amount of money.
Cautioned who?
Cautioned him as deputy minister. It is in a letter. I'll give it to you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I brought all facts. You can take these 2. And then 1, 2. Today, we'll talk about state capture. The third one, they took farm inputs and they smuggled half. The amount that was used and paid for was 1.3 million. I read a letter that was written to his minister to tell him as deputy minister to pay the balance they were owing to government. The letter says, under the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign, outgrower scheme, operators and commercial farmers were allowed to access farm inputs. So farm inputs that were meant for his constituents, he alone went and collected them and denied his constituents access to these farm inputs. Now listen carefully. Batuawese Company Limited, owned by the deputy regional minister. So, are you listening? He was deputy minister of the Upper West region. Is the company that accessed farm inputs under the campaign in 2017. Per the arrangement, the company paid only 50%, and they refused to pay the other 50%. This is the letter. So, Chinia did not only buy state lands in Tumu, he did not only buy state lands in Wa, he further took farm inputs that belonged to his own society. I am saying all this because he was first to be ranting on TV that this person bought this state land, that person bought this state land. I haven't spoken about the exposés of the Honorable Okujuato Ablakwa. I'm only speaking directly about the exposés of a man in this studio who has decided to bath himself with gross corruption, who has decided to siphon properties and funds that were meant for his constituents, and who has decided to, expose himself. And so when I sit here and say Chinia will go to jail, it was not only because of the 2 things I had counted. It was because of these numerous things that not only him will be prosecuted when NDC comes, his brother will go to jail, his driver who has siphoned all these funds will also go to jail. So on the larger picture, look, I have said that we will do whatever it takes to stop this corrupt, inept government.
Okay.
This highly incompetent government.
All right.
From dissipating properties and monies that were meant to develop this country. The state at which ministers, of which one is in your studio today and I've pointed to him, are, stealing and robbing the state of precious materials and properties is becoming alarming. And if care is not taken, our children and our children's children will come into government, and Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, together with his ministers, would have dissipated and damaged the entire country. And that is what we are going to fight until President Mahama finally becomes president.
Okay, let's welcome, sorry, forgive me, Bernard Mona. He's,
in my part two, I'll bring part two of exposés again against him. They are here.
You have part two against the same person?
The same things he did.
Okay.
They are here.
I see.
I'll come back.
Bernard Mona is convener of the Arise Ghana movement and PNC presidential candidate hopeful. Okay. Mr. Chinia, I need you to respond to the...
So it means that you need to give me a lot more time because he has personally made allegations against me.
Of course, and I need
to respond to them and talk about the national... Look, Serwaa,
I have more.
I have...
Come back.
My position on government lands, if you have listened to me, has always been clear. It's not a crime for any Ghanaian to go through the process, the proper process established to buy state land.
The position is changing.
It has never been the case.
Hey.
Now,
Come on.
he says that I bought state land in Wa. I want to put on record that it is false. I never bought any state land in Wa. The land he's referring to is not state land. It's completely false.
Okay.
Which of the lands?
I mentioned
He mentioned Wa. He mentioned Wa.
Which
mentioned
one is Wa? The one by the minister's bungalow.
In fact, he still occupies the bungalow. It's still in his
me.
Yes, your people are there.
It's not true.
Okay.
I left there long ago.
Okay.
In fact, it was given to the military. They lived there for I think 2 or 3 years.
Now let's go to the Tumula.
Okay, so the one next to the minister's bungalow is not true. It's not a state land.
It's not a state land.
But you have it. It's in your name.
Yes, it's my.
Whose land is? Who owns it? Who did you buy from?
It was bought by a UDS a lecturer in UDS. And
so you bought it from the lecturer?
Yes, I bought it from it.
And the lecturer bought it from the state?
No, not from the state.
Okay.
The lecturer bought it from the landowners.
Okay.
It's not state land.
All right.
At all.
Okay. Then
now,
where your land, your radio station is?
Tumu, the land he refers to are government lands. Where he's talking about the station, the radio station
yeah.
and the filling station.
They are government lands.
Government
lands. You bought them.
Yes.
Please, Malik, hold on. Let's
go.
And
I am saying that
today
it is not a crime.
Okay.
If it is a crime, Malik should let me know. Where did I say that?
Oh wow!
I have never said that.
Wow!
Buying state land.
Okay.
I have said this over and over, even on this station.
Okay.
That it is not a crime, but there is a procedure.
I see.
To doing it. So if you can establish that I have committed a crime,
okay.
Come and do it.
No problem.
The NDC chairman in Sisala is the current NDC chairman. There were a number of us who acquired those lands, including your chairman and many other NDC
I don't
people.
mind.
So is that if it is state capture?
I don't mind.
How come that? What is it? You have both people who are NDC and NPP buying state asset through proper procedure. How do you?
But is it right and fair that persons who have been put in authority, who have a far advantage, are acquiring these lands? So by the time that in the near future, there will be none of these lands for anybody to work with.
I'm only trying to establish the issue he has raised. So is it the NDC chairman having a piece of land there? Was it out of his
Malik.
And that is where I have my disagreement, complete disagreement.
Yes, no problem.
It cannot be the case that
I'll come back.
Any other Ghanaian can buy a piece of land, but once you are an appointee, you cannot buy a piece of land. It cannot be the case. There is no law that says that a certain class of Ghanaians can acquire state assets, but another set of Ghanaians cannot acquire state assets.
When did you acquire those assets?
The land was, I think, in 2018 or 19.
When you had become deputy minister?
Yes, I was deputy regional minister.
Okay, all right.
So that is it. If Malik and Co think that I have committed a crime, and I think he's angered because I said John Mahama, there's a Joyce News report here that stated 415 past government officials, institutions grab state land, including Rawlings, including John Mahama, and now insist on that.
Let me see.
The military land in
Please give it to
the military land in Accra here. John Mahama, I mean, what is it? Went for it, and the Minister for Defense. What is lies? Why it is me? It is true.
Don't worry.
John Mahama went for it. So you let me have it. I need to just make reference to some names and get back to you.
Okay.
Now,
please
Bernard,
pass it on to him. I'd really like to.
If it is a crime,
I'll come back.
if it is a crime to sell state asset, the NDC under Mills and Mahama sold Atlantic Hotel, they sold Star Hotel, they sold Continental Hotel. Gassam Ghana Limited was sold to the Norwegians by John Mahama and the NDC. Tumu Cotton General was sold in 2014 by President Mahama.
So, are you justifying the
point I am making is that
the state capture claims? Are you justifying that because NDC did it, it was okay for the NPP?
The point I am making is that it is about buying of state assets and land means state capture. Then the NDC.
Your brother's road contract.
Oh, I'll come there. The NDC did more than they are making reference to. I mean, look at this Justice Ghana group, and go and look at the number of people, government appointees of the NDC who bought state assets. The the Senate bungalows were sold to NDC MPs. Is this state capture? And I just made reference to Tumu Cotton General that was established by President Leman, was sold under President Mahama when Mama Yerega was Minister for is it trade or what? They sold Tumu Cotton General. The whole general land, all the machines there have been sold by President Mahama. Is it a crime? If it's a crime, then you can also go after other people. So I am saying that President Mahama and his appointees bought state lands. And there is no law in Ghana that says that buying a state asset is a crime. If it is any such law, let anybody point to.
So if it is not a crime, why do you have all of that big pamphlet in your hand stating the number of lands and that you claim that former President Mahama bought?
I am just saying that they are claiming that because some state assets are being sold, it means that it is state capture. And I'm making the point that if that is the case, the NDC has no moral right to make those claims. I mean, the Minister for Lands responded to the claims by Ablakwa. I am telling you that the guy who bought the land in Wa, they know him. He's an NDC man from Bupe. The Parks and Garden land that was bought and a filling station built there is bought by his relative.
Okay.
It's bought by his relative.
All right. John
Jinapo has close ties with the guys from Bupe. So if it is state capture, how come an NDC man has bought the land under the MPP government?
So NDC buys land, MPP comes and they also buy. That's what the two of you are doing.
I mean, my position is that if we think it's not right, let's have a discussion and let's say that nobody should buy state asset, nobody should buy state land if you're a government official, or maybe state assets should not be sold. I have no problem with that. But as it stands now, there is no law that bars the sale of state assets, and state assets have been sold under all regimes. The NDC, MPP, it has been sold. So, I mean, personalizing it and I have no problem. If NDC happens to have power and you want to prosecute me, I'll be there.
Okay,
and I'll have
yes.
Now the last one.
About your brother.
Serwaa, is it a crime for any registered entity to do business? Or some Ghanaians are barred from doing business?
No, but there's the issue of conflict of interest.
And I want to state that there is no conflict of interest.
Your brother's company.
Look, the law requires that. The law. Let me come. The law requires that if you have interest in a company or you know somebody in a company who is tendering for a project, you declare your interest and you stay off. Mm-hmm. In this case, I am not even a member of the entity tender committee.
But it's in your ministry.
It doesn't matter. It does. So are you saying
it doesn't matter?
Yes.
When your brother, those on the tendering committee know that it is your brother's company.
It is a competitive tender.
Okay.
And the law does not say that if you are a minister or you are part of a state institution, a relation of you cannot do business in that
But
institution.
it is your party. Hold on. It is your party that held several press conferences, talked about conflicts of interest in the then John Mahama's government.
Yes.
You didn't have this position that it is not wrong for an entity that is registered. When your party held press conferences and said that Ibrahim Mahama was not supposed to have been given that contract, you said that there was a conflict of interest situation. But when it comes to you, because it is a registered entity, it doesn't matter.
I don't know the basis for which it was said. I don't have details of that information. But the law in Ghana does not bar any entity from doing business in any government institution.
Did the
anybody who has interest will have, especially if you are part of the committee that determines. And in this case, I wasn't part.
But it was your ministry.
Yes, it was at the RCC.
So,
but I was not part in the decision making.
When did your brother register that company?
Well, what does it? I don't have the details with me.
I have the details.
Yes, you can give. So
they registered it in 2017.
It was registered in 2017.
They had no experience. They had never engaged in construction.
Okay.
Yet he gave them that contract.
Okay.
I don't give contracts, and it is also complete false.
I'm coming.
When he said that mobilization was paid to the company, the company up to today has not been paid a peswa. Up to today, Serwaa, that company has not been paid a peswa.
Nothing about the company now knows this.
Oh, I am the MP.
Malik, please allow me.
I am the MP, and the issue has. This is not the first time this issue has come up. This issue has been in the news since 2020. I mean, there has been joint report. There have been several encounters and all that. So the award was done. Some work has been done. But Serwaa, I can tell you that the company has not been paid a peswa, and the company was not giving mobilization. So the company has not gotten a peswa from that construction. If you have any evidence, you can prove it.
Okay.
And if you want, you can contact the Ever Rose in Upper West. That company has not been paid a single peswa on the construction of the road.
Okay.
And it is not also true that all the roads in Tumu Town have been awarded to. Before this particular contract, there were 2 existing contracts for Tumu Town roads. But the perception is created as if Tumu Town roads was awarded to that company, and the company didn't. In fact, amongst the companies that have been given roads, this was the latest one, and this company has done more work than the previous companies. In fact, when you look at the advert on this particular project, there were 3 projects that were advertised. One in Lambusie, one in Hamele, and one in Tumu. Out of these 3, the only contractor that has done some work out of the 3 is the Towiso company in Tumu, and the company has not been paid a peswa. It is absolutely false.
Okay. How about the response to the final claim? Then I can go to Bernard on the Ministry for Food and Agriculture.
Well, he read the directors of the company. Didn't he read? Am I a director of the company? So if somebody writes,
but this document that I have here names Serwaa you as the owner of the company.
There is a lot to how the document came into being. You can go to Registrar General and check the registration of the company. I am not a director of the company.
So why did they name you as a director?
When I was going for parliamentary primaries, there were a lot of things that went on, and probably somebody misled the minister to writing and directing the letter to me. This was prior to the parliamentary primaries in 2020.
Wow.
And it was meant to stop me from contesting. And so there is no way.
The minister in your own party.
Well, but that was the situation.
Wow.
This letter was written to stop me from contesting, and the claim was that the transaction was mine.
Okay, so you are not a director.
I'm not.
Are you a beneficial owner?
No.
You are not?
I am not.
Okay, yes. Hold on. Let me come to Bernard. Bernard.
Let me add these documents, and I'll come back to him.
No, but you are not speaking yet.
No,
Bernard.
when Bernard is done.
Please.
Judgment day has come today.
Good morning.
Oh, but
please, we are not making this personal.
Yes.
It is not personal. So please, I will not allow it to turn personal.
Oh, it's already personal.
It's not personal.
It's personal.
It's not on the show.
Personal.
It's okay. Bernard.
It's not personal.
Abdul Rahman Meguru, popularly called Katos, who is the special assistant in the Upper West Region, Regional Coordinating Council, says that your fan base is increasing in the Upper West Region.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thanks to the people of Wa.
And that since on Thursdays, there are 2 Upper Westerners that grace your occasion. You should make it a point that one of these days you host the program from Upper West.
I agree. I think that we will consider that. My producer,
let me say good morning
Ibrahim, is listening, so.
To the Honorable Chinia and his kin, or is it the slave? Malik Basin Sali. First and foremost, let the records be straight that these 2 political parties, the NDC and MPP, continue to run Ghana to the grave. Because take a look at what is happening even here. When something is wrong, we justify why we should commit the same cardinal wrong because it was committed previously by somebody. We are not saying that because it was wrong yesterday and we said it was wrong, we will do everything to stop it from recurring. Rather, we will go and do it, but gather the records to come and prove that these things occurred yesterday or yesteryears. Consequently, they must occur today. Such an ugly development in our society cannot be the lot of the many who strive to ensure that we sustain our democracy. See, I have been very worried, and I'm sure all of us here should be worried, that over the years, from the days of the Structural Adjustment Program, Economic Recovery Program, that led to PAMSCAD program to mitigate the social cost of adjustment, which eventually ended up in the ditch that we find ourselves. That we started our Kwame Nkrumah. When I say our Kwame Nkrumah, you should know why I'm saying our Kwame Nkrumah. Our Kwame Nkrumah decided that no nation can run only on the stream of spending without generating money. So Kwame Nkrumah put up institutions that will be generating money and also serving to create employment for the people. So he set up many factories that aside giving employment, they'll be able to make money for us. We sat here that soon after the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah, all these assets were being sold one after the other. So much that we have sold in excess of 380 state assets on the claim that there is management inefficiency or they are not making profits. Some of the companies that we started to sell were actually at the incipient stage of completion. And yet, we sold them on the basis that they were not making profit. Who invests in a capital venture and expect that a year or two after commissioning of the project, you start making money? Nobody does that. And so we are running losses because the companies were yet to even reach break-even points. Today, what haven't we sold? Serwaa, let me give you one of the things that every day I lament about. We sold Ghana Telecom alongside its One Touch, which is now Telecel. And every day I weep because assuming, and I say this, assuming that over the 20 million active subscribers of mobile phones, we use even 5 Ghana cedis on voice and data. Times 20 million, how much do you get? 5 cedis. That means that every day we get in excess of 100 million. Times 365 days. That is the amount of money the telecos get up away We will calculate how much they make and say that that is part of our GDP growth. And come and sit on sets and be gloating that why our GDP has grown. When in actual fact, that GDP, as soon as it is grown, is taken away from your shores. What we are left with for government is expenditure or spendings. Civil service is an expenditure. They don't generate revenue. Go to Ghana Education Service. Go to Ghana Health Service. Go to the security services. All these things are institutions that we pay money. And then we come and sit in studio. And we blame that this man has stolen more, so I'm justified to also steal. What is this craze about state lands? What is the craze about state lands? That everybody wants to have some. Look, I was energized when Abu Jinapo, in one of his interviews with Randy Abbey, said that why people have been going around cantonments and other plush areas, and that when they see that a land is unoccupied, they simply go and search and they come to the ministry for them to facilitate for them, and that those people should cease. And that he is sometimes even shocked at the kind of people who are looking for such lands to buy. Today, the man's mouth has changed. That he is justifying why officials of government and rich people can now go and acquire state lands. You see, when these lands were acquired, they were for various reasons. If you go to the Upper West region, where Honorable Chinia served as a deputy minister, we had what we call the transit corteses. Because when the region started, people and workers of Ghana can move from anywhere from Ghana to come to the Upper West region to come and work. When they come, it will be very difficult for them to get accommodation. And you know that accommodation is prime for anybody to work. And so these transit corteses were meant for such workers. When they get transferred, they come and stay there whilst looking for accommodation of their type. We have sold everything in those areas. Even, what do we call it? Laboratories are being established in these prime areas. Yeah. Government corteses are gone. As if the government will not be employing people and transferring them to any place, because you can be employed in Accra and then your services will be needed. And because of many things, we transfer government workers from one end to the other. So when you transfer them, where are they going to stay? In most instances, when I was working for Ghana Internal Revenue Service, now Ghana Revenue Authority, when they transfer somebody to come to Upper West Region, the service will now go and rent a hotel. Do you know how much it costs to stay in a hotel?
Because the house has been bought.
The house has been sold. So they will go and stay you in a hotel, sometimes up to 6 months. Before you are now asked, and the state will be paying. What kind of recklessness are we engaging? And so if one government does something that is wrong, and you are voted into power by clearing those people out, it is your duty to protect us from the wrongdoings.
Right.
And when you are repeating those wrongs, and then we come to talk, then you go and tell us that it was done by Jerry Rawlings, it was done by Kufuor, it was done by Mills, it was done by John Mahama. So Akufo-Addo is allowed to steal the remaining. How is that a justification? You know, I feel very, very broken speaking about these things, because we used to have these places called government residential areas. Yeah. Go around and see. They have become private areas. We can't continue on this platform, this standard, and expect that people's confidence in our democracy can grow.
Okay.
It is the reason for which people actually go and check every indicators about politicians. It keeps telling us that people's value, respect for politicians is on the lowest. They only appreciate that we have stolen money, and so they should also enjoy part of the money. This is worrying.
All right. I want us to wrap up on the state capture conversation. Yeah. Very briefly, all 2 minutes each, so that we can move on.
So, first of all, it is not true that President Mahama sold the Tumu cotton factory. It's not true. Nobody sold it. It's never been sold. It's never been bought by anyone. In fact, if there's anyone who has bought it, then unless maybe Ichinia knows the person. It's never. President Mahama attempted revamping it in 2014 with Olam, Ghana Limited, which even didn't materialize. So no one has sold the Tumu cotton factory. So it's not true. Chinia, you lied. Number two, President Mahama has not bought any military land. Where President Mahama lives, he was renting. Around behind Bema camp, he was renting. So how do you rent a house? How do you buy land and still rent the house there? You people sacked him from his building when he was vice president. You remember that issue? You drove him away and he had to go and rent. And he had been renting there where he lives, behind Bema camp. So how did he buy the land? So it's a lie. Now, he said the company, Batuawese, deserved the contract. It's not true. Batuawese, his brother's company, of which they formed, was formed in 2017. It had no track record in road construction. It had never undertaken any contract, no business. It bidded for this contract with two other companies that had full experience in construction work. How did your ministry settle on a company that had no track record and did away with two other companies that were fully experienced in road construction? How did you arrive at that? That's one. Number two, he said he had no business in the fertilizer. It's not true. Or the farm inputs. The Ministry of Agrics director said when he defaulted to pay back, he called him and said, Deputy Minister, pay back our money. To the extent that they reported him to his minister of being nonchalant and refusing to pay their money. He was running away with their money. He told the GHOne News, everybody, that he, the minister, had begged them and had agreed to be paying small. So how is it that today you are now telling us that you had no business in this particular company? Look, I am happy that he has agreed that he bought state lands. He has agreed that in his own constituency, lands that should have been used to build hospitals for the children, lands that should have been used to build schools, as a result of wickedness and insensitivity, he decided to use his powers as MP and minister to buy the lands and develop them for his own private use. So this is fascinating in all of this.
Okay,
the company they formed, I'm coming, let me land on this.
Quickly.
The company they formed, but what we say, they deliberately used the name of God to form a company that was going to siphon money. But what we say necessarily means people are not God. Yes, we hear. People are not God, but we will fight for God. If you want to use the name of God to engage in these massive corruptions with your brother, with your driver, with your cousin, your family members, you people have ganged up to dupe the state, even as deputy minister. Then one day if you become minister, you buy all the lands in Accra.
But Malik, he makes a point, and he's asking that, does the NDC really have the moral rights to be questioning the appointees of the NPP about state capture?
I heard him mention Gassem. I heard him mention Gassem also. Gassem's shares, 35%, was given to Norwegians in 1992. 1992 was President Mahama president. He sat here and was cooking figures. Yesterday night, they coached him on concocted figures. He came and sat here.
Malik, all the things you
Malik,
you are not more intelligent than me.
All the things you cooked figures.
What do you mean?
1992 was President Mahama president.
You have to stop him.
So you lie.
So you think you can speak on your own authority? I can speak. So I'm a member of parliament. You are not more educated than me. You are not more educated than me.
I'm coming.
So you are telling me you are independent minded. I am not independent minded.
I'm giving you
some kind of arrogance.
Hold on. I'll give you.
You demonstrate a lot of arrogance.
Please let him finish.
When he says that,
you will speak.
How can he say that?
You will speak, but then you can respond.
In 1992, President Mahama wasn't president. 35% of Gassem was given to Norwegians. So you sat here and said President Mahama sold Gassem. You lied. You sat here and said Tumu Cotton Company, President Mahama sold it. I've told you that in 2014, it was given to Olam for revamping. It was not even done. So nobody sold it. You lied. You sat here and said President bought military lands. I have proven to you that President Mahama
What did you prove?
Now, tell me the company that President Mahama bought. You are attempting to use President Mahama to equalize your personal state capture. Things you have siphoned from
all right, thank you very much, Malik.
Show me one place President Mahama bought.
Thank you.
As simple as that.
Please respond.
When they talk about state capture, I have just mentioned here that the Wa Parks and Garden they are referring to
it's not true.
Is bought by some.
Please.
Is bought by one man from Bupe, who is an NDC.
He can be.
He knows it.
Then you go to prison.
So
with
how
him.
does that become? And all the lands Akujato has alleged bought by what is government people or officials, and that meant state capture. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has demonstrated that all those lands were sold under President Mahama, and in fact, what has been sold under MPP was bought by an NDC person. Now to the specific issues in my constituency, Tumu Cotton General has been sold. Serwaa.
To who?
To RMG.
Who sold it?
Former President Mahama.
When?
It was sold in 2014.
Malik, allow
Go and
him
check.
to finish.
It was sold to
It was sold
RMG in 2014. As we speak, government of Ghana is a minority shareholder in all the cotton companies, cotton factories in the north, in Bolga, in Tamale, in Wa, and in Tumu. They've sold all of them, and all of them were sold by President Mahama. It was when he was president that all those things were sold to RMG. So you can't sit here.
Go and bring the
You can't sit here.
Bring the state lands back.
You can't sit here and tell me that it is not true.
Bring the state lands back.
Now you talked about
Or you go to jail.
but to Weso company winning a contract. The process is established in law. How bids are what is advertised. People
I think
tender.
you responded to that.
I mean, so the process, if you want, you can go and challenge it. But I have also said that among the 3 contracts that were even awarded, the only performing contract is the Weso company. And I have established that because this thing was used in 2020 against me by the NDC. They have sent you all these messages. It was used in Tumu in 2020, but I still won because the people know me. They know who I am. I have character integrity. I have character integrity. And as we speak to date, the company has not been paid a peso whatsoever. You can investigate it.
So
it is a complete
they've
lie.
executed the contract, but
It's not complete.
They've not done
But
it.
they have not. You can say that. They have worked. They have done
How do you
bridges.
know?
Oh, I'm in the constituency.
Okay.
They've constructed bridges. They've constructed drains. They have done graveling. So you can't say that, and they have not been paid a peso.
Why?
So if it is anything, it is the state of Ghana that owes that company, and the company doesn't owe the state.
Your brother's company.
Yes.
Whatever it is, it's a company. It's legally registered to do business. I'm not done. He talks about fertilizer business and all that. You see, being mischievous is anything anybody can do.
To that already.
I have not been involved in any fertilizer business as you have spoken. It is a complete. I say, well, I've told you the genesis of the
but you've
case.
explained
The
it, so then
document
let's
is
move
here.
on.
I've told you, and then
The document is here.
Serwaa,
It's here.
if it comes to land grabbing,
It's here.
I have this document is here.
Fertilizer is smuggled. Said, take it. So,
Personalities.
The Ministry of Agri mentioned you that you were the owner of it.
I'm saying that when you have power, come on.
And you are owing them 1.3 million.
If you have power, Malik, if you by mistake win election, you come. I'll be ready to.
Honorable,
As
just
for
to
jail,
be
you
clear,
go.
the contract was awarded to the Batuwisi
Yes.
company,
The company
and not
said
you.
And not me.
people are
Okay,
not
so
going.
that
And
same
I'm not-
company won the road contract
Yes.
and won the
all
Yes.
contracts.
Okay.
As deputy minister,
And
gave all contracts.
I
to his own
have
company.
Malik,
I have no hand in it, and I think that the company is doing legitimate business. If you find anything wrong, the company has done, you can pursue the company.
All right, thank you.
And
I'll
so
go to
I
Shrike
am
from-
saying,
I'm going to Shrike from here.
state lands and state properties, the way NDC claim and try to paint MPP against former President Mahama. Merchant Bank was sold by President Mahama. Merchant Bank,
It was sold to who?
Fortis. Merchant Bank was sold to Fortis. At the
Who is
time,
Fortis?
it's a company. It's a company owned by appointees of President Mahama.
Appointee.
Yes, I will tell you the names.
So,
George Smith Graham is a director. He was CEO for Salaries and
please.
Pay Wages Commission under President Mahama. Mrs. Rita Sra, he was GRA board member appointed by President Mahama. Miss Ima Akua Bula, board member of Bank of Ghana, appointed by President Mahama. These are the directors of Fortis who bought Merchant Bank. And at the time they were buying Merchant Bank, a South African bank offered to buy Merchant Bank at $90 million. Fortis presented $34 million. And President Mahama and his government sold Merchant Bank to Fortis at $34 million against $90 million that was offered, because the bank, the people who were buying it were appointees of his government. And Ibrahim Mahama at that time owed Merchant Bank millions of Ghana cedis. Ibrahim Mahama, President Mahama's brother, owed Merchant Bank millions of Ghana cedis. So and because of that, they sold it to their appointees so that they could protect.
So hold on. So it is wrong.
I'm just telling you their record. So if today they are the people,
please.
If you think what is happening today, if people have what is wrong, that is also wrong. But I have said that.
All right.
Is there any law that bars people from buying it? Let's look at it.
Then why are you bringing this up?
I'm showing you examples.
All right. Let's move on.
I'm showing the examples. And he talks about GHOne. GHOne was sold by NDC government, whether it is Mahama or Rawlings. But you make references to problems of former President Kufuor and President Akufo-Addo. Mahama has been part of the NDC government from day one.
All right.
Was he not a deputy minister of communication?
All right, Malik, please. Let's move on. Let us move.
So come on.
Please, let's move. Malik, please. Fear price. Hold on, please. Gentlemen, hold on. Malik, I don't want to mute your microphone. Honorable Chinia, please. Let's respect our viewers so that they can follow. When you talk so much, they don't follow. Don't follow. I am telling both of you, Malik, please.
I'm ready to face you anytime.
Malik. Director, please mute his microphone. Thank you.
Your brother went and bought one state land you are talking about.
Honorable Chinia, mute his microphone too. All right, let's move on. So Malik, please respect the show. Honorable Chinia, let's move on. And I'm going to start with, some oil marketing companies across the country have started to increase their prices for petroleum products at the pumps as the second pricing window for July has begun. So this means that petroleum consumers are expected to pay more, about 15 Ghana cedis per liter. 15 cedis, 25 pesos per liter. That is in the coming days and hours. I'm going to start with you on this one. Are we really going to see an end in sight in the increase in the price of petroleum products? Because we're just in the first half of the year and prices have increased about twice already.
Well, it was President Akufo-Addo who said that 4.5 liters gallon of petrol selling at 4 cedis 20 pesos was way too much, and that we as citizens should not be subjected to such. This was eloquently echoed by now Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Alhaji Bawumia when he questioned why a gallon of petrol was 14 cedis, 7 pesos. Today, it is not a gallon of petrol that is 14 cedis, but a liter of petrol is in excess of 14 cedis. A liter of petrol today is 15 cedis, 25 pesos. Times 4 will now be the equivalent of a gallon. Certainly the question will be, have we gone or we have come? We voted in the full belief that the government of Nana Akufo-Addo, supported by Alhaji Bawumia, were going to make things at least easier. In the worst case, that they were going to maintain our hardship at the levels they met them. Today, the dynamics they claim have changed, and that we are dealing with the commodity purchase in dollars. And since the IGP left office and the dollar escaped, they have not been able to apprehend the dollar. And therefore, the dollar is in the bushes and causing a lot of havoc. We speak today, the rate of the dollar is in excess of 15 cedis to $1. So, if people have to go and purchase in dollars, and they come and they are selling in cedis, and we have not been able to do anything to contain the cedi inflow weakness. One of the things that will cause the cedi to suffer and continue to suffer, that I want Honorable Chinia to carry to government, tell your minister when they go to cabinet, they should go and rethink the policies that they are doing. You have decided to over-privatize, in fact, not over-privatize, you have decided to sell state assets, and you have lost control of revenues. And these companies that have come are not of Ghanaian origins. So anytime they make money, they want to take the money away, they convert it into dollars. How many times have you not seen that on Fridays? A plane that is painted MTN comes to Ghana. What do they come to do? They come to collect their share of money per week in dollars and to go. So if that is what they come to collect, and you don't create dollars, so you go and buy dollars and bring it, and then these companies come and take the dollars and pam, they migrate. Do you think that you have sufficient dollars in the system to be able to contain the depreciation of your currency? So it won't work. Now, petroleum products are purchased in dollars. When they purchase in dollars, it means that they have to peg their pricing in dollars. But worse is that you have the fluctuating cedi. So as soon as you go and purchase in dollars and you come and your cedi is fluctuating, you have to constantly keep pushing the prices up in order that you'll be able at least to buy the same quantity of fuel when your fuel is going lower. And so we see that in terms of cedi relationship, this is the price we continue to endure. Somewhere in January, the prices increased, transport fares increased by 30%. In March, it was increased by another 30%. In April, thereabout, variously, if you add them, it increased by about 15%. Today, with this new measure, transport fares will be increased. I recall traveling with VIP from Accra to Wa was 175 Ghana cedis or less. I think 120 before. Then it migrated to 175. Today, you are talking about 380 Ghana cedis. Accra to Wa, 380 Ghana cedis. And so with these increases, we are going to 400. The incomes of the Ghanaian worker has not increased by the same margins of fuel price increases alone. I'm not talking about other utilities. So life for the ordinary Ghanaian has become so pitiable. What we pray is that rather than go out there and by pontificating of the development that you have, this is what our Kwame Nkrumah will say, that we will measure the well-being of our people by the quantity and quality of food they eat, by the availability of quality health care, by the proper education that they get, by the amount of work that is available for our people, and not by the statistics of economics of averages that reflect nothing, that reflect emptiness. It's empty rhetoric that has no correlation to the development of our nation. This is a clear manifestation that, look, if there is anything called failure, this is one of the biggest manifestations of failure under Akufo-Addo, that you spoke too wide from the corners of your mouth. And today, reality is that what used to be a gallon of petrol, how much you used to own to buy a gallon of petrol of 14 cedis, today to buy a liter, you need 15 plus to be able to buy a liter. This is shameful. This is, if you don't know what we call bad governance, this epitomizes bad governance.
Mr. Chinia,
Well,
what's happening to our petrol prices?
well, first of all, let me express my solidarity with the people of Ghana in terms of how this increment is going to affect our daily lives. I mean, anytime there's increment in fuel prices, it is translated to every aspect of our lives. I mean, because cost of fuel will increase cost of transport and will affect everything. And so I actually feel for the ordinary Ghanaian and for all of us in Ghana that this increment certainly will increase the cost of living, and it is not a desirable situation. And government is taking steps and working very hard to reverse the situation. Of course, we all know the difficulties that has confronted the country ever since COVID broke out and then the Russia-Ukraine war. And it is not just Ghana. I mean, all over the world, these difficulties have been encountered. I mean, there are some countries, not only the cost. Nigeria, for instance, here, I mean, it's not just the cost, but even the availability of the fuel is not there. People are queuing over days looking for fuel.
But is Nigeria still paying COVID levy?
Well, we are talking about fuel.
But
I
you
mean,
said
I'm telling you the challenges of the fuel sector and the general economy across the globe.
Okay.
I mean, you can check. All over, even the developed countries, cost of fuel has gone up because the average cost of fuel before President Akufo-Addo was about $45,000 a barrel. Today, a barrel of fuel is around $85 per barrel. So, of course, the cost of the amount of money government has to use in importing these products have gone up, and also the depreciation of the cedi, which has to be changed into dollar to be able to import these fuels, is also another side of a factor that has also affected the cost. And so it is not a very suitable situation. I feel, as a member of parliament, I mean, I represent people and I know the difficulties. My constituency is a general farming constituency where around this time people are farming, and the cost of plowing has gone up because the cost of fuel has gone up. And so it has direct impact on the people. So I can only say that the effort that the Ministry of Finance and the government is making to turn things around, we just pray and hope that it works out so that the rate at which our cedi has depreciated will see a reverse trend. And once there is a reverse trend, I'm sure that it will also eventually affect the prices downwards. But for now, I would say that things are difficult, and we can only sympathize with Ghanaians, and government on its part will continue to work hard to make sure that the situation is reversed.
Okay. Serwaa, the sympathies are fake, and I'll tell you why they are fake. Chinia's ministry takes 10 pesos from every liter of petrol you buy. They call it the sanitation and boiler tax. His ministry. So how can your ministry extort 10 pesos from us? And then you come again to sympathize with us. What are you sympathizing with us on? It's hypocritical. It's lies. 3 components build up our petroleum cost build up. 1, international prices. 2, taxes. And 3, exchange rates. Tell me which of these components COVID or Russia-Ukraine affects. Tell me. I want to know. And it's not true that when you came into office, fuel was sold at $45 a barrel. It's
the average.
It's average. It's a lie. Let me tell you why it's a lie. In 2016, the average barrel went for $54.
Yes.
Hold on, let me listen.
You are not educated.
Yeah, so let me listen. Maybe. Can you allow me?
In
Please?
2016,
Please, can you allow me?
You see,
Yeah, but
one has to be captured rightly. I said average price. I didn't say 2016 price.
Distracting the conversation.
Thank you.
2016 was 54, but the average price over the period.
Price
Thank you very much.
Fuel when President Akufo-Addo came in, the $45 he quoted is lie. It's a barefaced lie, and I'm going to explain that to you. The average price in 2016 was $54. And at $54, NDC introduced what we call the Special Petroleum Tax. You remember? SPT. SPT came on board to beef up our reserves because at that time, fuel prices were so low that it was affecting our sale of petrol. And this logic that when fuel prices are down, or let's say when they are high in the international market, it affects our pricing negatively. It's not true. Ghana export fuel. In 2023 alone, Ghana exported fuel to a tune of 3.2 billion. The windfall we got alone was 1.1 billion. Windfall means profit in fuel. Listen. So if fuel prices are high internationally, it is good news to Ghana because we go to sell our fuel and then we buy fuel into the country again. So it's false. That narrative is false. Maybe you don't understand the petroleum cost build-up. Then 2, taxes. I've already told you. Look, you introduced the energy sector recovery levy, 20 pesos on fuel. It is here. You introduced the energy sector, recovery levy again, 18 pesos on LPG. The road fund was first 40 pesos. You increased it to 48 pesos. Primary distribution margin was 4.5 pesos. You increased it to 26 pesos. The bust margin, that was 3 pesos. You increased it to 12 pesos. Fuel market margin was 1.5 pesos. You increased it to 9 pesos. UPPF, that's usually used in monitoring the tracking petrol and all of that, was first 9 pesos. You increased it to 90 pesos. So tell me who you are sympathizing with. Why did you increase these taxes? Today we cannot buy fuel, and you come and sit there and say we are sympathizing the Ghanaian people and I feel no solidarity. Whose solidarity? Who increased those taxes? The third one, exchange rate. And this one, look, let me lam it on the vice president. Chinia has nothing to do with exchange rate. Vice President Bawumia was the one who deceived us, lied to the people of this country through his teeth, and told us that he had a way of arresting the dollar. If you remember, he came and mounted the podium. He said he had arrested the dollar, the key was in the pocket of the IGP, and the dollar was never going to escape jail again. I don't know whether the dollar has finished serving its sentence or where the dollar can be found now. But those lies that the Vice President Bawumia introduced and imposed on us forced us to believe it. And look, I have been saying that if there is anyone who should be disappointed in Bawumia, it should be Akufo-Addo. Because he was the one Bawumia deceived. Warped logic, fake analysis, touch screen, and I will catch the dollar will lie here. Today the dollar is 15 cedis. So the dollar has increased to the extent that you would have to buy the commodity in dollar rates. And if you buy in dollar rates, how do you sell it at a cheap price? In other words, in 2022, same braggadocious lying vice president deceived us that they were going to introduce gold for oil. So what do you remember?
What's the meaning of that?
And that gold for oil. Braggadocious. Somebody who moves around blabbing, empty, blowing hot air.
Malik, you can't use this.
Can I make my point? No. Look, can you correct him?
He can't use this kind of
words.
words.
He came and told
Malik,
you and I.
he's not comfortable with you using these words.
He came
is it right?
He came and told
Will you
us.
retract?
Braggadocious. If you brag, what is offensive about being braggadocious?
He says he's not comfortable with it.
Bawumia is a braggart. Is the braggart. He brags. Doesn't he brag?
Malik, have respect. Look, show respect to people.
He should please stop
show respect.
This attitude.
How do you call him a braggart?
Bawumia came and bragged to you and I that he had brought gold for oil and gold for oil was going to reduce fuel prices. So what do you remember?
I do.
He told us even at the point that
It
was
actually
further
reduced
going
it a
to
bit,
reduce.
didn't it?
It was not as a result of gold for oil. It
Really?
had nothing to do with gold for oil.
Okay, Chinya
Then
will
he
tell us
told
what the
us,
state of
yes,
the gold for
he doesn't
oil
understand
deal is.
fuel economics. Let me just now
But
take it.
that is not fair
Malik,
to him.
stop that
That is not
arrogance.
fair to him.
Because
Stop
No,
that
Malik,
stupidity.
that-
he
Malik,
said when
Malik,
the
the fuel
arrogance.
prices come
Malik,
down.
that
Stop
is
the
not fair
arrogance.
to him.
Let me go
You
on.
can't. You
You are
can't.
too arrogant. What is that? What do you
Can I
know?
make my point? Can I make my
What
point?
kind of stupidity is that?
No problem.
What do you mean that I don't understand fuel
Okay, but
economics?
I won't also allow you to,
No,
to describe
but
him.
until he
I will
withdraws.
He's
no,
asked for him.
no, I will not
I
allow
know.
you. I have asked him to not address you like
So
that.
what is that?
So you do not also
This is
address
the second
say
time
that.
of trying to undermine me. He first said, I don't understand. I have been called to come and speak. Now he's saying that I don't understand fuel economics.
Let's all
What kind of
exercise
arrogance is that?
decorum. Okay, thank you. Can we move on?
You are an unemployed person who goes around taking what kind of
That is
arrogance is
also-
that?
You see, I will not
He
allow
sits here and
this.
says people are
Honorable,
corrupt, people are this.
Would you want me to stop him when he makes
that
such
dubious character like you?
honorable?
I will
don't
not
think
allow
that-
him.
I
He's
don't
too
think that-
arrogant.
Hold on. I don't think that it is fair that you describe him as a dubious character.
It's fair for him to tell me that I don't understand fuel economics.
I have told both of you. If
He
you want
said
to
for him
continue
to tell
playing
me
like
that
but
I have
will
been
not-
coached- I have been
will
coached-
not
I have been
condone-
coached to come and speak.
I will not condone.
I have been coached to come and
I will
speak.
not condone.
You, Malik, you
these
know so
acts
much.
of both of
You can independently
Thank
come and
you.
speak. But I am being coached.
He wants to spoil
Honorable,
the
thank
show.
you. Please, let's move on.
You are spoiling it
I-
because you are
Honorable,
showing
please,
you are showing
Director, mute
arrogance.
his microphone for me. Thank you.
I am unemployed because Akufo-Addo has failed to give 1.8 million Ghanaians job. The job I would have gotten, Akufo-Addo has given it to his biological daughter, Jane Nkrumah. The job I would have gotten, Bawumia has given it to his brother, Mumuni Bawumia.
Are they not
working at
Ghanaians?
the Interior Ministry. In fact, even if I were a contractor, the contractor I would have gotten, Chinia has with greed
Yes.
and wickedness given it to his brother.
But he's not
to go and
not
do the
Ghanaian.
contract.
Honorable,
This is
please.
how, if your family has stolen our jobs like this, and I'm unemployed, you come and sit here and tell me I'm unemployed. Yes, I'm unemployed, but I'm not corrupt like you. And I will not steal state
You are
lands.
dubious.
I won't
You
buy
are a
state
criminal.
lands. But you have bought
You
state
go
lands.
around taking
And
people's
you
money.
have
You are a
continued-
criminal.
You have continued to do
Dubious
people
character
this
like
way.
you.
I
Your
dissociate myself
Yeah,
and
but
the station
your
from
family
these
has sold government
claims
lands.
that both of you
your
are making
bungalow, you have
against
bought
each
it.
other.
You
Thank
people
you.
have
What
decided
bungalow?
to
You
steal
see, you can't come and sit here and tell
government
lies.
land in this
He said I
country.
bought a
I will
bungalow,
not
which is
do
not
that.
true.
I will
So
not
which bungalow
allow
have I
you to
bought?
disrupt
So on
the
petrol,
show.
You allow
on
him,
petrol,
he's
on
spoiling
petrol,
it.
Please.
We
Respect
have
the,
hidden-
hold on,
Yes, I
Malik,
want
let
to
me
speak on
say,
petrol.
So you are
let
not
me-
being fair to me.
I
He's
want
making
to speak on
allegations
petrol.
against me,
Please,
and
let
you are
me-
you are turning this thing on me.
let me reiterate.
He's making very
the
arrogant
values.
and disgusting.
Director, mute
You buy
Chinya's
state
phone for
lands
me.
everywhere.
Microphone, please.
Before you became
Honorable
MP, you were riding an old motor.
Chinya, you will not. I will not allow you to disrupt the show. Malik, I
let
won't
me go
allow
on.
you to disrupt
Let
the
me go
show
on with
either.
petrol prices.
Please,
Yeah.
do not call anybody a criminal. You too, respect him.
He bought
Let's
state lands.
respe-
It's a fact.
Let's respect
He
each
agreed
other.
on this platform.
Thank
and
you.
I
Let's
repeatedly
move
said
on.
it. Before
Let's
he became
move on.
MP, could he buy state lands?
Let's
Before
go-
you became MP, you were riding an old motor. Now you buy state land because you're MP and you call me an unemployed. I'm unemployed because you've given the jobs to your brother and your family members, but you go to jail. Wallahi, I've said
You
this
don't
on this
decide
platform.
who goes to
I'll
jail.
give you
This
the facts.
is the
You don't
arrogance.
Because he has done this
Wait.
on fuel prices.
Look at
Look,
we have
Malik,
decided
your level of
that
arrogance
on
is just too much.
petrol-
Your level of arrogance is too much.
Honorable Chinya,
there are
I
crises.
don't
Have such an
appreciate
indisciplined
it.
character.
Can I make my point?
You
In
go
this-
around
in-
and dubious
in
character like
discipline-
you go around
in
collecting money,
discipline- in
collecting money from
discipline-
people.
Please,
Yes,
you are
you
disrupting
go
the
around
show.
collecting people's money.
You will be
Director.
jailed. At first,
Honorable
I thought I could cover
Malik,
up for you, but
Honorable
you'll be jailed.
Chinya.
You will cover out for me. Then you are a
You
criminal.
buy state property.
How will you cover for me?
If you just joined us, we are supposed to be discussing petrol prices. But yeah, thank you very much for also helping calm there. Please, let me reiterate the ground rules for our studio guests. Don't talk when your other co-panelist is talking. Please, just for the sake of the show and the viewers, else they can't follow it. And no more personal attacks.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I've enumerated the components of our petroleum cost build-up. And I've said that, look, Ghanaians are struggling. We can no longer buy fuel. Those days, a gallon of petrol under NDC was sold at 14 Ghana cedis. Today, a gallon of petrol goes for over 68 cedis. At the point, it was 100 Ghana cedis in this country. As a result of your incompetence and mismanagement. As a result of your cluelessness. Because your government has no foresight and vision for the people of this country. You people sit down and at every point in time, you decide to just increase prices, introduce taxes recklessly, because you people cannot even formulate policy. Look, I gave an example of how Greater Accra was cleaned under the NDC. We made sure that every city in this country was cleaned. At that time, we did not introduce a Ebola tax. At that time. Today, because you have very incompetent people with no foresight at the helm of affairs in the ministry, they sit down and they think that a very cheapishly way of getting money to chop and siphon the state is to introduce a 10% Ebola tax on our petroleum cost build-up. And then you have said people sitting down and saying that, look, we sympathize with you and you should calm your nerves down. Please, Serwaa, I have said that President Mahama feels the plights of Ghanaians. He knows how it feels like to buy petrol at 70 Ghana cedis. Look, at the point in our campaign, I remember, we were struggling to even buy fuel into our cars. That was the time petrol was sold at almost 100 cedis a gallon. At the campaign, at the point, how to even buy petrol was a problem. Because you fill, a tank you used to fill for about 400 Ghana cedis. Today you fill it at 1,500. How is that possible? And you expect Ghanaians to survive with these things? Look, at the point in this country, even the BDCs could not get dollar to even go and buy petrol. Why? Because the Bank of Ghana had dissipated our funds. People who were smuggling goods, people who smuggle fertilizer in their villages to other countries to sell. And we know them. All those people had to use the dollar to go and buy fertilizer and smuggle it through the back doors. And look, we have a list of those people. When we come, they made things hard for us in this country. Look, our exchange rates. Why are our shocks weak? Our shocks are weak because even things we produce locally. There's a guy in Upper West called Muda, in Tumu, Muda. He's a boy to somebody. They have decided to open a farm input shop. And they are siphoning all the 1.3 million farm inputs they took from Agric Ministry. They stored it in that shop. And they siphon funds. If people can be this wicked and insensitive to their own people. Then sometimes I sit down and I ask myself whether people are really human beings. Then at the end, they use the name of God to form companies. So Serwaa, we must find a way of balancing our shocks in this country. We must find a way of working on our exchange rates. But we can only do that if we imprison smugglers, if we imprison people who are locally wicked, if we imprison people who are insensitive to the plights of their people. Once we are able to do that, I think that the country will be peaceful. And that can only be done when President Mahama comes in 2025. So I'll plead with the unemployed youth out there, my colleague unemployed people. Look, it is not our fault. Don't be too hard on yourself that you are unemployed. It's as a result of wicked people who think of just their families, who have decided to carry the national cake to their family houses and have shared it to their brothers. That is why we cannot get jobs. It's because of cruel people who the little lands that should even build companies and employers, my colleague unemployed people, they have bought those state lands and they are selling and building their own things on those lands. So don't be hard on yourself. President Mahama, the nation builder, is coming. He will give us a 24-hour economy. I'll get a job. You will get a job. Serwaa will get a job. Everybody will get a job.
What am I doing?
If you want another job, you get, because you run 3-shift system, and everybody will get a job. President Mahama will stabilize the economy. He will bring prices down, and you and I can also get a job because we are not fit to even get 3 million contracts. It's only some people's families that are fit.
Thank you very much.
We are not fit to get fertilizer to smuggle. It's only some smugglers who can do that. So the time is coming. We would also get jobs. Petrol prices will be reduced, and Ghana will be reset and brought back to the promised land. Thank you very much.
GHOne, yes.
Yes, so I mentioned the average price of fuel, and Malik disputed it. A barrel of fuel in 2016 was $54. That is true. But if you take the prices from under the NDC for 8 years, the average price was $45 a barrel. Now, he talks about the fact that Ghana exports crude oil, and we made a profit. But probably we need to look at it. We export crude oil. We import. Now, what is the net effect of the export and the import? That is what will tell you whether we are gaining in our net or we are losing. We import more crude oil than we export. So the net value of our petroleum business is the fact that we import more. So when you import more than you export, you cannot say that you can rely on the export to help the system. It is when your net export is more than your net import, then you have an advantage. When prices increase, then you have advantage. But if your net import is more than your net export, you cannot have an advantage when crude prices go up. And in the case of Ghana, our net export is less than our net import. So it cannot be true that increase in crude oil prices is an advantage to Ghana. It can only become an advantage when we are able to produce more and we are exporting more than we import. Now he talks about the MPP running down the system and the state of unemployment. This government has created more direct and indirect jobs.
But you are the one who called him unemployed. That's why he brought that in.
Oh,
yes. Unemployment was never a topic for discussion. You called him unemployed, and he reacted to that.
I agree to that.
If you want me to add, you see, don't take matters out of context. I said in a certain context.
Okay.
I said in a context. I don't want to bring the others and then to another debate, but I said in a certain context.
Okay.
Somebody who points at others and makes certain reckless statement, who has to go, I mean, I don't want to go there, but the point I am making is that GHOne Mahama is a known person. He has been the president and vice president of Ghana before. He has been a president under whose watch Ghanaians suffered even when we didn't have world economic crisis. President Mahama couldn't manage the fuel situation at the time. Even letters of credit for importers was a problem. Letters of credit for people to import fuel into Ghana was a problem, even though the cost of importing crude oil at the international market was lower than today. And you remember around 2014-15, there was crisis and people were rushing to filling stations for fuel because there was speculation that we were going to have shortage of fuel because government of GHOne Mahama couldn't offer letters of credit for importers to import fuel. So this is somebody we know. His record shows that he has been a bad leader. When people complain of unemployment, he said he had dead goods syndrome, and he didn't care. At the time. He didn't care
now
about
14.7.
He didn't care about how people felt. He couldn't manage electricity situation in Ghana. There was doom so for 3 continuous years.
But have you seen? It appears all the polls are saying that GHOne Mahama will win, with all the things you are saying. There's Global Info Analytics. The very latest one is Fitch Solutions. They all say that the NDC will win. But you think that he's been such a bad leader?
Let's get there. You see, I believe the NDC has the perception that because, we have difficulty in our economic situation, it's a done deal for them.
But you remember what Nanado said about fuel prices in the run-up to the 2016 elections?
Bawumia is on the ground working.
Okay.
He is working constituency by constituency. So if you are resting in your home, and then when the election,
my question on the fuel prices.
When the elections are declared against you, then you say that it has been rigged. That will be your problem. But for us, we are focused on the campaign. We are working. We have a record, and we are showing to Ghanaians the record. In fact, in governance, it is not everything you can achieve the best of results. There are other sectors that the government has done so well. But of course, when it comes to fuel, globally, prices have gone up.
Did you know that there was a global
input? You see, under Mahama, things we experienced, there were no global crisis. Was there a global crisis?
So what
Other countries were not experiencing what we're experiencing.
Which global crisis affected the fuel prices?
I mean, are you not aware of the global crisis that has happened? Are you not aware of COVID?
Educate us.
Are you not aware of COVID that has affected? It's part of the reason why our depreciation, the depreciation of the cedi has its consequences, or the root cause of it is from the COVID difficulties. And you know that it is a major factor in determining how much is spent in buying.
So why are we still paying COVID levy?
Well, we are still in the difficulty.
It's not
COVID?
Our economy is still in difficulty. We haven't gone out of the difficulty.
That's why we are still paying COVID levy.
Of course, if we are out of the difficulty, I mean, we are working.
So many other countries, you include Nigeria. Is Nigeria still paying COVID levy?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm telling you that Nigeria's fuel situation is worse than Ghana. They have increased their fuel more than Ghana, and yet availability is not there. In Ghana, there's fuel is available. You have not gone to any station that you can't find fuel. In Nigeria, you go to filling stations, you can't find fuel.
To the international news.
Conclude. Would you want to, please, quickly? I want us to talk about the appointment of COP GHOne before we
first, I think that's important that we never elected Chinia or President Akufo-Addo or any of his appointees to go and fix the problems of Nigeria or fix the problems of Togo or Benin. We elected them to fix the problems of Ghana. So it is low belt. Anytime we
hold on, before you go on, John Jinapo has sent me a message.
Yes.
He says that from the 2023 budget statement, in 2022, and Chinya, this is to you, crude oil exports from Ghana reached around 52 million barrels as against import of 51 million barrels. Ghana is a net exporter of oil.
So Chinya lied. He doesn't. I told you.
It's not true.
He's been exposed.
That is what he's saying.
So
have you seen the budget? No, have you seen the budget statement?
You smuggle fertilizer. Everything one human being.
Hey, Malik. Have you seen the report that he's referring to?
It's okay. It's
not true.
It's a budget. Check
right now.
2023 budget.
I am saying that we are a net import of fuel. It's not true. It's not true. It's not settled. That is John Jinapo's opinion.
John.
That is John Jinapo's opinion. It's not true.
Incompetence.
JJ.
Continue.
Who is JJ?
No, he's
okay, you mean Rollins? John Jinapo. Okay.
John
Jinapo is not true. It's not true.
No.
The message he has sent. What is the basis of the message?
What you are saying?
Because of the conversation that we are having.
John Jinapo
is chief. It's not
true. You cannot be saying that about his chief. Chiefs don't lie.
It's not true.
Malik, thank you. Yes.
Ghana is a net exporter.
On this note, he's exposed.
Yeah, but he said Ghana is a net exporter of oil. You said
importer, next importer of fuel.
We are net exporter.
Importer.
Look, he doesn't. I told you. If I say he doesn't understand, you say I'm.
You didn't even understand.
Continue. You say
what do you mean? You didn't understand.
Okay, hold on.
All he does is take 10 pesos.
They will not allow me to put. I saw you pleading for 10 minutes, and they don't want to.
Please, both of you. I'm Honorable Chinya. Honorable Chinya.
I will never smuggle fertilizer. I'll never buy state land.
Malik, you are Malik. Honorable Chinya, you are both disrespecting the show. You are Honorable Chinya. Director, please mute his microphone. You are disrespecting me and you are disrespecting the show. Both of you. Both of you.
I can see that you are. I mean, Malik said they're making allegation against me, and you tell the listener.
Today, NDC says I'm not fair. Tomorrow, MPP says I'm not fair. That's okay. It's fine. But I will not allow both of you.
Accusation against me, and then you don't talk about him.
I just said both of you will not destroy my show. Both of you will not destroy my show. Thank you. Malik, please mute your mic. Director, please mute his microphone. Do not. But we had a conversation.
He's attacking me directly.
But you also attacked him. You also attacked him.
What is this?
You also attacked him. So do not attack each other. Thank you.
We never elected Akufo-Addo.
In fact, please wrap up in 30 seconds so I can discuss the last topic.
We never elected Akufo-Addo to fix the problems of any country, but Ghana. So anytime we are having these challenges, then you start telling us about other countries. Then we will remind you that when we were facing some challenges in the past, you told us that global phenomenon cannot skip Togo. or Benin or Cote d'Ivoire and come and affiliate Ghana. This is what the vice president said in opposition. So how come that today global phenomenon can skip all these countries and come and affiliate Ghana? Let us deal with the problems that you have been elected to fix and stop these kind of everyday, some country you are better than.
Okay, let's move on. I'm sure that you are all aware of the appointment of COP GHOne as the deputy IGP in charge of operations. It appears that it's met some mixed reaction. Malik.
For me, Serwaa, the party is here to come out with
a statement,
a position on that.
By your personal opinion?
Yes, what we know is that the cakes,
you don't have views.
The cakes of a dying horse are usually very, very hard. They will do everything possible to survive. I won't say much on the COP's appointment, but all I'm saying is that anybody can attempt to do anything. Anybody can decide to use any means of attempting to stay, especially in power. But let me mark it by the grace of the living God and the will of the Ghanaian people, the suffering Ghanaian people. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman will be victorious in the election. Nobody can stand the wind of change. There are people who are scared because they know their position when the NDC comes. There are people who know deep down their hearts that they will have to run away. They will have to run from this country if the NDC comes. But I will state on record that their will is not the will of God. God will make room for President Mahama to come into power. And anybody can decide to do any appointment. Anybody can decide to, I don't know the history of COP GHOne. I don't know what he stands for. Bernard knows him more.
Well,
I'm sure, Bernard will speak more about him.
Yes, even hold on. Adam Bona, security experts, says that COP GHOne is qualified, but the timing is questionable.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making, and I'm saying the party will come out with a position. 5 months to election, there was an attempted stuffing the Supreme Court with judges. You remember, even the Judicial Council had to sit on it and all of that. 5 months to election, IGP coming in, 5 months to election, appointments here. The president has appointed his cousin as ambassador at large, and I mean, lots of appointments. We know that they are last minute tactics. But like I said, the NDC is coming into power to reset the country. The Ghanaian people have full confidence and will in President Mahama. And they know that President Mahama is the game changer, at least if not for anything at all. The number of funds that will be brought back, recouped into government coffers, the number of fertilizer that will be intercepted and brought back, the number of state lands that will be recouped in state coffers, and the people of this country will benefit fully from what they so desire, at least from the hands of wicked and insensitive, greedy people in this country. President Mahama shall be president, inshallah.
Okay, thank you. Chinya.
Well, I think that these appointments are done according to laid down procedures and law. And if Adam Bona says that he's qualified and he's competent to do the job, and he has been appointed in accord with law, I mean, that is it. You can only say it is not right if something untoward or the law has been bent in forcing him into the position. But as far as I am concerned, the president has done the appointment according to law. And so there is nothing. And I mean, appointments, even people lose elections, and before the next president is sworn in, they make appointments. You remember the Auditor General was appointed in 2016 after President Mahama lost elections. He was appointed. Nobody, I mean, because it was within the constitutional arrangement. As long as he remains the president, he can make appointment according to law.
But so after the fact that it's done according to law, yes, make it beneficial to us. Not everything done according to law.
So if it is not beneficial, you can point out the weaknesses, and then we can look at it. But I mean, this man's appointments as deputy IGP, I mean, if there is something untoward, somebody, they can raise it. But as far as I'm concerned, the man is qualified, he's competent, he has the experience, and he's a serving police officer who, I mean, is qualified to be appointed. He has been appointed.
How do you respond to the allegations that his appointment is a ploy to rig the elections for the NPP?
I mean, so I have said on this station before that if the people decide to vote out a ruling party, you can't stop it.
I agree.
If they decide to maintain a ruling party, you can't stop it. There is no way a police IGP or deputy IGP or electoral commissioner can subvert the will of Ghanaians. And we have seen it within this 1992 constitution. NDC has lost elections in government. MPP has lost elections in government. And so for me, the work is on the ground. I am an MP, I'm a parliamentary candidate. I know the dynamics in my constituency. I know how I'll campaign and win. And I know what can let me lose. So it is up to me to strategize and win. Dr. Bawumia knows what the weaknesses are with his position now and what the strengths are, and he's campaigning and he's leveraging on the good things the party has done in government, and he's telling Ghanaians the new policies he's going to implement given the opportunity. And so those are going to be the basis on which anybody will be elected as president. Former President Mahama's record is known. It is not like he's a new person who is seeking to be president. He's a president who was rejected by Ghanaians, and I believe the reasons for which they rejected President Mahama has not changed. He's still the same person, and there is no way Ghanaians will bring him back. And so the appointment of anybody cannot be the reason why a party can win or a party can lose. It is the party itself, the candidate, what they have done, their track record, and what they intend to do. Those are the determining factors that will influence the direction people will vote. But no police officer can go and turn results for or electoral commission or any other individual. It can't happen.
Okay. Bernard.
COP GHOne, a very excellent police officer, but who also, on the 28th of June 2022, was the lead person charged by the IGP that led the police to the brutalization of citizens at the Obra spot at a time when we said that if the police will not permit us to use our designated route, then we will not move from the Obra spot. They wanted us to go through the Farisco junction, and we wanted to come through the Nima interchange. Is it the Nima police station, through the Akwaje or Sankara interchange, and go to the ministry? That is the route we chose. Somehow he left the crowd, and his charges dealt with us. Beat us, tear gassed us, pepper sprayed us, ran amok with this crowd. Personally, I have suffered some beatings and brutalizations from his command. That does not obliterate the fact that he's an excellent police officer in his tact. For the record, he is the current Director General of Operations of the Ghana Police Service. And being the current Director General of Operations at the Ghana Police Service, he is virtually acted as the Deputy IGP. Virtually organized himself as Deputy IGP, representing IGP in most instances. I recall last year when Democracy Hub chose that they were going to do their protest on the 21st of February to mark Nkrumah's birthday. And then there was the problem. The IGP, after that evening, when the people were arrested, Vomawo and co were arrested and put into cells, and the IGP ordered for their release. Upon their release, the next day when the protest continued, the police hierarchy was planning to go and launch a scatter. But GHOne opted that he was going to go there. And when he went, he simply shepherded the people to where they wanted to be, and they carried on their protest for the next 2 days up to 12 p.m. until they dispersed. When the police decide to become professional, and in this case, he chose to become professional, the first day of violence, we saw that second day of violence was contained. He has been COP for a considerable time. He has worked in many capacities within the police service. I have no doubt that until his official announcement as Deputy IG, he has always played the role of a Deputy IG. The only regret I have is that by this appointment, Akufo-Addo has taken from me someone that I thought I will appoint as my IGP when I win election 2025.
As what? President?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
But what?
But have you even emerged as flag bearer of your party?
It doesn't matter. Bawumia was not positioned to contest, but eventually he won.
You don't know your situation.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying that I am the next president.
You
don't believe it.
Afasara is going to be the
Man cannot even organize constituency conferences. Support him to organize that one.
We have to go. Thank you very much.
So when I become president, these were some of the people I was looking at.
You would have appointed.
Now they are making him deputy.
Taking him away from you. That's sad. That's
really
not yet
over.
That's really sad. I have to go, but I'm going to give each one of you 30 seconds to make your final submissions. Okay. You want to go first? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the elections of 2024 is going to be an election of records because we have seen Mahama in government.
Okay.
We have seen Bawumia in government. But the difference is that we have seen Mahama as both a vice president and a president who had ultimate authority of the state and how he performed. We have seen Bawumia over the last 8 years as vice president. And so Ghanaians will have the opportunity to listen to them on one, their track record, what they have done in the past, and two, the policy proposals they are making if either of them is elected.
All right.
And I believe on the basis of that, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be elected the president come 7th December 2024.
Okay.
So, you know your platform is a fact-checking one. In 2018, 19th March, Dr. Bawumia went to Tumu and he promised to revamp the Tumu Cotton General, a company that Chinia said was sold somewhere in 2014. What's the business of a vice president
Malik,
with a company that you said was sold?
I said government is a minority shareholder. The company is for RFP.
Please, the rules were set. Please.
Oh.
So Bawumia intended of revamping the company. I told you that in 2018 under your government. So how is a sole company now going to be revamped by Dr. Bawumia? So I told you that Chinia lied on this platform. Finally, Ghanaians will have an opportunity of choosing. Next week I'll come with part 3 of the exposés again.
But this is not going to be a personal battle.
But it's not a battle, but we are exposing corruption. So we must do it. This part 2, last week was part 1. Next week I'll come part 3. I have a lot of documents, more of what they have done, his dubious things. So
next week,
Ghanaians will choose Chinia. Ghanaians will choose between a nation builder like President Mahama, and Ghanaians will choose between Alhaji Bawumia. We have seen his first term. Before 2016, he was a bit credible. After 2016, we realized he was a liar. After 2020, he's still a liar. Bawumia hasn't changed. If you bath a monkey, shave the monkey, and put lipstick on the mouth, it will still be a monkey.
Thank you very much.
Thursday, let him bring the
Thursday, we will all meet here. Don't worry. God willing.
I will not
you
be
two come. You will not be where?
You don't make that mistake.
Hey, but you don't decide who comes on the show.
Malik, I'm not.
Thursday, I'll come.
Bawumia
will you come?
Thank you very much.
Will you come?
The next president will come. The next
I'll come with part 3 Thursday.
He said, you bring them.
You
bring them.
You'll be here.
You
lie back.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Bawumia will be my consensus on Thursday.
It's not true.
I tend to speak. You people should respect.
Malik, you know I'm a fearless person.
I said come to Thursday.
I'm a bold man. These are not new records. These were the things NDC used in 2020. I am telling you that.
It's okay.
Why can't you tell him?
Let me remind Malik that these are the things. His party necessarily sent it to him. And these were the things they used in 2020. But they lost.
You'll be here. Next week you'll be
These
here.
were the things they used in 2020 and defeated them.
You should allow me to talk.
Can you allow him
It's not new. These were used in 2020. None of them is
If
new.
you come next week, I'm bringing next week. When will you come?
No, you bring it.
No,
even in my absence, you can bring it.
I don't want
I have nothing to hide.
Thank you. Bernard, please.
Your people used this in 2020 and defeated them.
Honorable
And I'll defeat them again.
Thank you. Yes.
So
They had this.
on the basis that
this is honestly very bad.
But you know, Malik has personalized.
Malik says that on the
20
basis
seconds,
that Malik
yes.
says that Chinia will go to jail, and Chinia is daring him to it. I am hoping that they both don't get a chance to be in government.
For one to go to jail,
For
right?
one to go to jail
Okay.
and one not to go to jail.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. Bernard Mona is a convener of the Arise. Can you allow me to wrap up my show too?
Wrap up.
I'm not happy with both of you today at all. I'm not.
And they want me to marry you and die fast so that they can marry.
I don't know about that. Bernard Mona is flag bearer for the PNC.
No, I will not marry
Actually,
FL.
flag bearer aspirant for the PNC.
He's not going to win.
and
He's not going to win.
2 documents clear.
Mhm.
With 4 documents.
a convener of the Arise Ghana movement. Alaji, come on. Do you know your constituents are listening to
Yeah,
you?
they are listening.
They will not be happy with you.
They are listening to it on my radio.
So your radio heard how you bought the alarm.
Alhaji Amidu Chinia is Deputy Minister for Water and Sanitation and also Member of Parliament for Sisala East, and Malik Basintale is Deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC. Thank you for coming and watching the show. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. Now, on Sunday, 21st July 2024, the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa will celebrate its 50th anniversary at the Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel in Accra, Ghana. Now, this isn't just a celebration, but a time for elevation to a whole new level of the growing partnership between Africa and the Arab region. Badia will use the occasion to bring together all the heads of top financial institutions of the Arab world and Africa for the historic launch of the Arab-Africa Financial Consortium. The event, which is part of the AU Media Summit in Accra, will feature a leaders' breakfast with heads of state, heads of institutions, as well as other major economic decision makers, including CEOs, industrialists, and entrepreneurs from Africa and the Arab world. Dignitaries will include His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 12 other African leaders, the Chairman of Badia, His Excellency Dr. Fahad Abdullah, the leaders of the Big 8 financial institutions called the Arab Coordination Group, and many more, including representatives from all the regions of the major sovereign funds. To attend this event, visit www.badiaevent.rsvpify.com, or you can send a mail to rsvp@badia.org, or you can call 053-609-8325. Let's have a conversation about the Lions Club. I'm sure that you've heard of it. You're wondering what it's about. Well, you get all of your answers today. I'm joined in the studio by Lion Dr. Helena Asamoah Hassan. She's a district governor. Good morning. And Lion Oscar Anai, who is a district marketing and communication chairperson. You're both welcome to the show. Tell us about the Lions Club, Doc.
Thank you very much, Serwaa, for the opportunity. The Lions Club, we now known as Lions International.
Okay.
But it's a global organization. The main aim is to serve the needy in our communities.
It's an NGO.
Yes,
okay.
To serve the needy. And I must even say that we've been around since 1917. It was started by a gentleman called Melvin Jones, who was a businessman in Chicago, Illinois, USA. So he called his friends and said, why can't we come together to do something for the needy, for our communities? So that is how the whole idea started in 1917. And it grew into the various clubs joined in the US, and it went to Canada, and eventually came to other parts of the world. And as we say, currently we have presence in 200 countries and geographical areas, and we have about 49,000 clubs.
Wow.
That carry out humanitarian services throughout the year in different parts of the world. We must say that another thing too is that the organization has been structured so that we have the international, we have continents, we call them constitutional area, and then it comes down. So for example, I may say that we have the International Association, we have constitutional area 8, which is for Africa.
Okay.
And then when you come into Africa, we are broken down into districts. Sometimes districts cut across countries, depending on the size of the country. Sometimes some districts may have multiple districts. For instance, Nigeria, there are about 6 districts in Nigeria. When you go to some East African countries, the population. When you go to East Africa, you find that 2 countries constitute a district. So now in Ghana, we are a district, 1 district for now. And then we have 47 clubs currently, and we also have our youth wing called the LEOS.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So that is what we do, to serve the needy, humanitarian services.
Okay. How do you raise funds to do this?
Yes, we raise funds from contributions from members. We also raise funds from by soliciting support from organizations.
Okay.
We also get funds from a grant funding organization, which is the Lions Club International Foundation.
Okay.
Yes, a Lions Club International Foundation as a second arm of Lions International. So as the district governor mentioned, we have the Lions Clubs International and Lions Clubs International Foundation making up Lions International. So the fund granting arm also helps us, and indeed they've undertaken many projects across the world. Yes, so funding, one is by members. That is why one of the expectations is that to become a member, you should have some form of treasurer. Two, by soliciting funds from the outside world, organizations, philanthropic persons, yes. Right. And then grants from LCI, which is Lions Club International Foundation.
Okay. How does one become a member?
That's an interesting question. Wherever people ask, everyone can be a member.
Okay.
But what happens is that you are invited by another member to attend a club's meeting. Oh. And then when you go in, then you take part in what we do, our activities. And then when we see that you really have got the heart to serve, then you become one of us. The bottom line is that you must have a heart to serve.
Okay. Yes. What is a typical meeting day like for you to, for me to know that, I have the heart to serve in that capacity?
We have various clubs.
Okay.
For instance, Accra, we have over 20 clubs in Accra. So they put out notices out that there is a meeting this day. We have what you call 2 meetings in a month. One is business, one is social. So it is open to everyone. In fact, sometimes some people walk into without even being invited by another member. Oh. So they walk into a meeting. And then we go meet, we plan the activities we are supposed to do, because every month we carry out an activity. Okay. Each club carries out an activity every month. So you just go in. So that is a typical day meeting. You just get in. We have our president, we have our officers. We discuss what we are going to do for that month and the months ahead. And then we get kicking and we start off. So that's a typical, it's open. You can enter our meetings.
Okay. Okay, I see. And then you are able to determine whether they have the heart to serve and you become a member. What are the benefits of being a member?
The greatest benefit of becoming a member of Lions International is the satisfaction that one gains in undertaking a service activity.
Right.
That's why the district governor mentioned that key to becoming a member is having a heart to serve. Yes, because it's when you have a heart to serve that you derive the satisfaction in, for example, feeding the hungry. In undertaking activities that goes to reduce the prevalence rate for diabetes, for example. In undertaking awareness to on childhood cancer, to ensure that children suffering with childhood cancer, for example, get a cure, and to let them understand that there's a cure for childhood cancer. And so the list goes on. Also, you get to experience many leadership exposure. So once you become a member, for example, every member is encouraged to take up leadership position. So it is encouraged that at least every member becomes a president of their club in the existence of the club. And that exposes you to so many leadership experiences. That's one. You also get to build on your network. So to sum it, these are the 3 key benefits of becoming a member of Lions International. But I will rate the satisfaction one gets from serving the needy as the highest and the topmost of the benefits of becoming a member of Lions International.
Okay. How do when you say that you help the needy, are they targeted? Do you go look for the people who need the help, or they make applications to you? How is it done? I'm asking because we have a little girl who is a 2-year-old who needs funds for her heart surgery. So I want to know if it's something that Lions Club will be interested in doing.
Yes, just like I said when we started this conversation, we have areas that we concentrate on right from our headquarters, 8 areas. We call them the global causes.
Okay.
And these areas include diabetes, vision, hunger, childhood cancer, environment, youth, humanitarian services, and disaster relief. So those are the areas cut out by our international, the Lions International headquarters, where we carry our services. I've mentioned 8. We do this in 8 months. Now, the 4 months in the year, then you look at the community. what the community needs. So something like that can slot in the heart. So you will just get to the Lions Club in your community, and then you can present a case. But then what normally happens is that we have these areas set out. So we go look for the communities and ask them their needs in that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Little Adepe story, is it something that the Lions International will be willing to take a look at?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on the club.
Okay.
The club can take that on.
Okay.
If they think that is something in addition to what they do.
Yes. Okay. So then we will have a conversation about Little Adepa. Before we go, any final words?
Yes. So we are having an upcoming event, which is a fundraising event to raise funds to undertake 3 key projects.
Okay.
One of them is a 8-bed diabetic ward, an emergency unit, and then the other is a surgery for cataract surgery for 100 needy persons who are suffering from cataract. The third one is to undertake road safety awareness. So we intend to brand police barriers to educate the public on the need for road safety to ensure our roads are safe and people live healthier and meaningful lives. So we invite the public to support us in this regard. So look out for our channels on social media and let us know how you can assist us. The event will take place on Saturday, 20th of July this month at Lancaster Hotel in the evening. So also we wish to invite all persons who may be interested in joining us as in becoming members of Lions International to also reach out to us through our social media channels to connect with us. Then we can connect them to clubs close to their places of work or residence.
Okay. You want to add something, Doc, before we go?
Yes, in addition to that, just as Lion Oscar said, we derive this support from corporate organizations and individuals, philanthropists. So we are appealing that they can come to our aid so that we will also help the needy based on that. And as I said, we have a Facebook account. Once you just Lions Clubs Ghana, you will get there and then you'll be able to get to us, and then whatever support that is available, we'll be glad to have it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Lion Dr. Helena Samoa Hassan, she's a district governor, and Lion Oscar Onai is district marketing and communication chairperson. All the best with your upcoming events.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll try and attend one of the meetings because
Please
I'm very
do.
interested.
Please
Thank you.
do.
Stay with us. After the break, there's more. You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. Now, we've been having him in the studio talk about something different, but today he's also coming to talk about something entirely different. And I'm sure that you've been monitoring the news. You have seen his picture and his name all over the place. That this man here is a $250,000 richer. And you see, he's my friend, though. And so I am somewhat entitled to some part of the money. Spiky, are we not friends?
Oh, we are.
For being Nkrumah, are we not friends?
We are.
You're welcome. Congratulations. It's been a long battle, right?
It has indeed.
How many years?
So it happened in 2018, and we started a battle in 2022. Yes.
Oh, 2022.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's not too much time. And you've come out victorious. First of all, for those who don't know the background of the case, can you please tell us?
Yeah, so I'm a music producer by night when I'm not doing my tech stuff, and I compose African-themed soundtracks. So one day I was just there, and a friend told me that he'd heard one of my soundtracks being used by someone. And I'm like, who? It's CAF. And I don't follow sports, so there's no way I would have noticed this. So I went to check it out, and it was right. It was actually the song. Like they didn't even change it a bit. They just used the whole
same
beat.
thing.
Yes. And so I reached out to them and asked them, hey, you do realize this is my intellectual property you've infringed on. So it was tweets, emails. Finally, they go back to me and they asked me, so what's the way forward? They apologized and acknowledged that they had used it, and so what's the way forward? And I say, hey, you have to remunerate me, you have to pay me for it, you have to compensate me, and that was it. I didn't hear from them again. So I had lawyers send them emails, letters to basically put them into order, and it didn't seem to be going as we expected it, so then we had to take the legal route. So even that people, a lot of people told me, it's a Ghanaian legal system, it doesn't work, you're probably not going to get enough money, so just let it go. I mean, it's what? You can make more beats later. And it was getting to me, I was beginning to believe, I was beginning to agree with them that it wasn't worth following until I met my lawyers, Serwaa, who educated me about how I can actually get judgment because I deserved it, and educated me about copyright, intellectual property, and by the time she was done, I was so confident that I'd win the case that I decided to put my energy into it, and here we are.
You must be very happy.
I am indeed, very. Yeah.
When was the judgment given?
Yesterday, yes.
Yesterday. When is the money dropping?
Oh, we don't know yet. You should know that we're just hoping they don't appeal.
Are you expecting it? Are your lawyers expecting an appeal?
Well, it's intellectual property, and so far, with what I've learned, there's a possibility to also... So we actually did pursue both civil and criminal, because intellectual property infringement is criminal as well. So there's also the criminal side that we're still on. So this is civil. So if they decide to appeal, I mean, we are still pursuing criminal. And now that we have judgment for civil, you know what it is. Right.
I see. I'm very happy for you, by the way.
Thank you.
And because Spiky makes really beautiful beats, and it must be really sad then to know that people are taking your beats without giving you credit for it, right? Moving forward, I mean, this appears to happen a lot. What advice would you give to persons? Because even here in Ghana, we keep doing it to each other. Yeah. What advice would you give to persons like that?
So, I've been a huge supporter of the creative industry, and it's one thing that I've always been championing, that creatives deserve to be appreciated, deserve to be rewarded for the work that they do. And so I keep saying this, that it's not just, this win is not just for me, but it's for the creative industry, for people to know that, hey, they can actually get something from their work. We've seen a lot of creatives end up dying paupers or retiring without enough money because people haven't really given them what they deserve. But this is sort of a way for them to realize that, hey, whatever we're doing, we can actually earn from it. If someone does steal our content, we can actually sue them. The law protects us. It's our intellectual property, it's our copyright, and we have the right to protect it and to be rewarded if somebody uses it. And I think this should let them also look out there make sure that nobody's taking their intellectual property for granted and using it without their permission. And yeah, it's just a win for the creative industry as a whole.
Okay, Spiky, tomorrow is Friday, and
Yes.
I want you to come back on the show for us to discuss this deeper.
Not Tech
I want
Daily.
to hear, not Tech Daily. I want to listen to the beats
Okay.
and listen to more beats of yours that people may not have heard, and then do a comparison. See, let's talk more about it.
Sure.
Promise?
I promise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kobin
for having
Kuma,
me.
but you all know him as Spiky. He's the what should I even describe you right now? I mean, he's a tech guru. That is undisputed. But right now, he's the richest man in this country, and so you should all be sending him DMs. Spiky, thank you for coming on
Thank
the
you
show.
for
Stay with us.
having
We
me.
have a bit more before we wrap up. Diko Kwakwa. Hey, wishing you a year of blessings, success, and all your heart's desires. Have a great day. Happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, Valerie Abuaji Kumi. May your day be filled with reflection, joy, and all the